afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me. So I'm here to talk about how we eliminate the idea of waste. It's a big mission. TerraCycle is an innovative waste management company who does not believe in waste. And since the early 2000s, we work with brands, retailers, cities, manufacturers with their waste recycling strategy, helping them and also supporting their sustainability programs. And back in the days when we started TerraCycle, we looked at the concept of waste and the modern idea that we have of waste. And the first interesting learning was that waste does not exist in the natural world. In the natural world, each organism contributes to the health of the whole. For example, feces from an animal will disintegrate in the soil, bringing nutriments to another living thing like a tree, whose fruit will then become food to an animal. So this will repeat again and again. So there is this natural harmony that comes from the principle that each organism output will bring significant benefits to other organisms. Unfortunately, humans disrupted this harmony. And we did that with the creation of synthetic material. And while plastics and other man-made material brought a lot of benefits because it made a lot of products accessible to many people, he also created a really bad thing because at the end of the day, when the product hits the end of the life, the natural world doesn't know what to do with it. Our waste problem is monumental. Over the past 100 years, we increase the production humanity creates by 10,000%, 20% of which goes directly to our oceans. Even here, that's a photo of the Thames, the River Thames, which contains one of the highest level of microplastics. It's so bad that according to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, by 2050, there will be more plastic waste in the ocean than fish. So it's bad, and today we only recycle 9% of the global plastic production. The other options are either to bury things into the ground, sending them to landfills, which create negatives for the environment, because as you're losing the inherent value of the product in the first place, it also creates issue with methanes and other toxins going to the environment. Another solution is to burn packaging and waste, sometimes creating and recovering some energy, but the main issue is that you can only burn things once. So there are solutions that exist, and there are things we can do to improve the current system. So we can look at helping manufacturers to redesign their packaging, making their packaging and product recyclable by design, with having materials that are easier to recycle by the system. We can definitely invest more in waste collection, waste sorting, and waste recycling infrastructures. We absolutely need to do that, and integrate more recycled content in products and packaging in the first place. But it's not the solution, and when you look at the current model, the real issue of waste is really not necessarily plastic per se, but it's really the fact that we use most things only once. And it's quite crazy when you think about it, the amount of energy and resources that it takes to extract oil and other materials from the ground, refine them into very high-grade plastics to then only burn or bury them after one short use. So when we started to hear about the concept of disposability and single use, we had to look at the benefits that they brought to us. Plastics is a cheap material that enable a lot of people to access a lot of products they couldn't access before. Actually, if you look at this advertisement from the 60s here, advertising a new packaging, moving from a reusable glass bottle to a disposable packaging, And it's quite crazy to think that at some point in time we're advertising for single use. Really what was the benefit of disposability was the convenience, the fact that it became very easy to access so many packaging and products. And we also look at models from the past. So the Milkman Model is a good example. And in that time, when you look at who owned the packaging, the manufacturer owned the packaging, not the consumers as it is today. And this model is quite interesting because as packaging was an asset for manufacturer that would depreciate over time, use after use, through the deposit model, it was in the interest of the manufacturers to make the bottle, the milk bottle or other packaging as durable as possible, not for the environment, but just for based on basic economics. And then disposability created something, so it created convenience, as we say, which is one of the benefits, but it created a shift of ownership where packaging were no longer property of the manufacturer, but property of us consumers. And when you think about it, you own so many things that you don't really want to own. So when you go to the shop and you do your shopping, you buy a lot of packaging that you just use once to use the content and then you throw them away. And because packaging became a cost, then what we've seen in the industry, in the packaging industry, is a trend of lightweighting, where over time, manufacturers started to reduce the weight of their packaging. So if you take this example, which is the beverage industry, where we move from a reusable or a recyclable glass bottle, then to an aluminum can, all down to a multi-layered flexible pouch. So there is one benefit, which is that the packaging is lighter, so from a creation point of view, it's a bit better for the environment in terms of extraction. And, but there are two benefits to this lightweighting trend. The first one is that the recycling rates over time completely crashed. So while glass would be recyclable 90%, these numbers are from the United States, it's down to 0 for the multi-layer pouch, just because the multi-layer pouch is not a profitable material to collect and recycle to the traditional waste management industry. And the second negative is that in the process, us consumers, we lost consumer delight, which means that if I ask you to rank these containers from the one you'd rather get your drink from the best to the worst, you'll probably also follow the same order, glass, and then last one, the pouch. So really what we try to create at TerraCycle is a model that looked back in the past at the Milkman model, but really rebooted it and brought it to the modern world while maintaining the benefit of disposability, which is this convenience that we're talking about. And before I tell you a bit more about this new concept called Loop, I invite you to watch a short video that will tell you a bit more about the work we're doing.
Okay, ready to say goodbye to disposable containers. Recycling company
TerraCycle announcing a zero-waste
delivery service
called Loop.
It's called Loop.
It follows what is called the
Milkman Model.
Imagine the Milkman meets everything.
For everything from orange juice to deodorant.
Laundry detergent.
ice cream or shampoo are delivered
in durable and reusable packages.
Inside a reusable shipping tote.
When you are done with them,
without any cleaning, instead of putting it into a rubbish bin or a recycling bin, you put it into a reuse bin.
Une fois les produits consommés, le client replace les contenants utilisés dans le même sac.
And after you're finished with the products,
those containers are picked up,
cleaned and refilled for another customer.
It allows for unbelievable design innovation.
We have designed the package itself with stainless steel.
That particular ice cream container keeps your ice cream frozen.
Unilever's design team was working on their own redesign.
Major brands including Nestle, Procter & Gamble, and PepsiCo.
Tropicana, Tide, Haagen-Dazs,
Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and 23 other companies.
We've got a test that'll be going initially in New York and Paris.
Launch in May in Paris, and then New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania.
We're not only rethinking recycling, we're rethinking how we use every single product.
The e-commerce site says its model is
nearly 75% better for the environment.
It moves from being disposable to reusable. And my dream is that my kids or their kids can wake up in a world where the idea of waste simply doesn't exist. And we look at this time in history as what an anomaly that was, and thank God we're not in it anymore.
Thank you very much.
So the gentleman you're seeing is our founder and CEO, Tom, and we announced the launch of Loop at the World Economic Forum earlier this year. And really the basic concept of Loop is that we rethink the ownership of packaging. So we look at the Milkman Model, and we're shifting the ownership of packaging from consumers back to manufacturers, because we don't want to own this packaging anyway. So if you look at this example, so that's deodorant packaging. The numbers here are made up just for the exercise, just so you know. So the one on the right is the disposable version, the one that that you can buy today. So if the cost of this packaging is, let's say, 10 cents, then the cost per use, as it's only one use, will also be 10 cents. When you look at the durable version of this packaging, so that's an example of one of our partners, Unilever, who rethought the deodorant packaging and make a durable version that can be used dozens of times with the intention of being more than 100. The stick there is the part that can be replaced and changed, but the main box is the one that is durable. And why this packaging might be more costly to produce in the first place, maybe £3, for example, the cost per use will be much lower because it's made to be durable. So why there is an economical incentive to this concept and to reshifting the ownership of packaging back to manufacturer, there is also a lot of other benefits that durability unlocks. So durability brings reusability, that's the fundamental concept, but it also brings design, rethinking completely the way our product and packaging are currently designed, because suddenly you can invest much more in them in the first place, bringing new features, new functionalities. So just to give you an example, that's Häagen-Dazs, the ice cream pot. So that's a concept developed by Nestlé in the United States, where they rethought the packaging and moved from a layered cardboard and plastic pot to a stainless steel ice cream, which not only, I think you will find it quite beautiful, it also has a new functionality, which is that it can keep the ice cream frozen for several hours on the go. So we started to work with brand partners in different product categories. Here there is Tide for their laundry packaging, or Cascade for dishwasher tablets, PepsiCo with Quaker and Tropicana, for some of the iconic products, Mondelez here on biscuits, going back to the metal tin that we used to know before we had flexible packaging, Carrefour, which is our retail partner in France, for their private labels, Coca-Cola. Here it's Oral-B with the toothbrushes, so the head is the durable part that can be reused dozens of times, and the brush, which is contaminated after the end of use, can easily be recycled through the Loop platform. This one is quite interesting. That's also an example from Unilever, where they were thinking about moving their the toothpaste tube, to durable packaging, but as they were creating this glass durable packaging, it was quite interesting to see how they reinvented the content as well. So from a paste, which is quite hard for someone to get into a glass jar, they moved to a tablet, reducing the need of water in the production process as well. So from a packaging innovation, they also moved to a content innovation, which was quite interesting. Conditioner and shampoo here with Pantene. Ren also, who has joined us in the Loop platform, and they're also now looking at the future packaging because it's a new exercise for a lot of these companies thinking about durability. And you know, like you look at this type of packaging, and a durable pump that can be easily cleaned and the bottle refill is actually requires a lot of R&D and science. So what is the role of Loop in this model? Well, the thing that we do is that we work with all these brands and we really try to create an engine to move from disposability to durability. And we determine some of the rules working with retailers and brand owners to design for durability. So one is the fact that the packaging of product needs to be durable, which means that it has to be used at least 10 times from the production, use, cleaning and reuse in the platform. Another one is that at the end of its life, if it's broken or can't go back into the loop, it has to be easily recycled. Also for the content, sometimes it's contaminated. Think about a dirty nappy or a razor blade, or this can't be reused, so it will have to be recycled. And also it has to be cleanable according to the standard of the product category. So very concretely, how does it work? So it's an engine for retailers, brands, online and in-store. So once the brand have redesigned for durability, then the only difference for the consumer when they buy the product, we start online and we'll bring it to physical store very soon. The difference is that you pay for the product, but you also put a deposit on the container. And that will be the incentive that will enable to get the packaging back so they can then be clean and reuse. So we've launched Loop as a pilot in the United States and in France with retail partners and brand owners, and we're bringing this platform to the UK with Tesco early next year. I really hope you will be part of this journey with us and that you will support the development of platforms that promote reuse and more circular solutions so we can hopefully all together eliminate the idea of waste. Thank you very much.